Do you feel your golf swing? I mean, really feel it? Or do you just hit the ball and then move on to the next shot? So I'm going to take you through a bunch of feels today from setup all the way to the finish that will hopefully make you relate to the golf swing in a new way, stuff you've never really thought about or felt before, and just give you some great cues that you can go to the range with, go to the golf course with, and just move forward and be more successful than ever before. I think it's important for golfers to experience the swing, to have awareness of what they're feeling in their body, in their hands, in their arms, in their feet. And by spreading awareness around as you're practicing, you build a better foundation of what your baseline swing feels like. So when you're off, you have something to go back to. This first one is called dead arms. At setup, we need to have a really relaxed feeling, a feeling that we're letting go, we're ready for movement, but that we're not going to manipulate with our arms and hands immediately to try to do something fast or jerky in the backswing. So I want you to really feel and experience the dead weight of your arms. To do this, start with your arms at shoulder height. Of course, you're standing in your golf posture, and then as if you had two strings attached like a marionette puppet, somebody was to cut those strings, you're going to just free fall those arms, let the dead weight of the arms fall, and don't interrupt the natural movement of the arms coming to rest on their own, completely letting go and not getting involved. You can see it takes a moment, and now they are at rest. So that took a good, 6 seconds or more for them to just finally come to rest. But once they're there and they're dangling and I haven't interfered with their movement, I can really experience the true weight of my arms and hands as I stand in my golf posture. Add a golf club to that, and you're talking about a lot of weight. Well, we have to be relaxed, we have to let go, we have to let the weight of the club hang, and then from there we can get it swinging back. So step number one, dead arm. So along with those dead arms, I want you to have jello wrists, meaning that they're nice and loosey-goosey here, right at the wrist joint. So grab onto your arm, give your arm a shake, and really let go in that wrist joint to feel that wrist and the hand flopping around. Now, if I have you make a fist, so you're going to add a little tension in that hand, and then do it again. This is the combination we're really looking for in golf. We have to hold the club, but we want the wrist joint to be totally unlocked. Again, jello wrists. So dead arms, jello wrists. So you can see then, as I do that, how nice and loosey-goosey those wrists are all the way up to the top. And that's gonna also help you even through impact when it's time to release the club. So get that feeling and start really letting it go. You've experienced the weight of the arms, so now let's experience the weight of the club, which might be the most important one of them all. I want you to flip your club upside down and hold it near the hosel. Make a few practice swings where you're just feeling no weight because the grip end is down, and then flip the club over, grip it with a medium grip pressure, and hopefully all of a sudden you will start to experience the weight of that club head and shaft together and arms, and just start to swing that back and forth, experiencing the weight of the club just carving a nice circle in the air around you. You have to feel that at all times to know where the club is, to know what shape you're creating, and to know if you're on plane and if it's going to bottom out where you want it to on the ground. Very, very important to feel the weight of the club. Assuming you have a neutral grip and not something that's really strong or really weak, you're going to experience a pressure point in the bottom hand. For me, that's my right hand at the top of the swing. That's a great cue to let you know the backswing's over, it's time to start down. It's a lag pressure point, and it's right here on the bottom hand on the inside of the forefinger. So as I grip the club and I get to the top of the swing, I get those jello wrists folding over, the weight of the club falls right onto that pressure point. So from down the line, it really helps me to know that I'm on plane, because if for some reason my wrists are not set properly or I'm lifting incorrectly and manipulating, I'm probably not experiencing the weight of the club on that part of my hand. So very important to get awareness and to receive the weight of the club right onto that pressure point. I even have a little callus right on that part of my hand because that's where I've gotten a nice amount of wear over the years from the grip hitting my hand more heavily in the transition of the golf swing. It's also important to note that on the way down, we still feel pressure on that part of the hand. It's also important to note that you should experience pressure on that spot almost all the way down until impact. And even at impact, as we're striking the ball, we are resisting with the back of that right hand a little bit as we are powering through the impact phase of the swing. So very important part to get some awareness for, and make sure you're experiencing it in that area of your hand. Okay, you can take off your golf shoes, or inside your shoes, I want you to wiggle your toes and wake them up. Once you've done that, I want you to really pay attention to your toes on your left foot, if you're a right-handed golfer, and use those toes to help start initiating a bit of a weight shift and also some momentum and rotation going back. So basically your energy of starting your golf swing is starting from just your little toes on your left foot. Start your golf swing by pushing off that left pinky toe and rolling to the big toe of your lead foot, just like you'd roll across a few keys. I know that's a stretch, but it's a good imagery. Light up those toes and push off that left foot to get you swinging back. So hold a club at the grip end with 2 fingers, just like this, thumb and forefinger. Now from here, I want you to get the club swinging. Well, it's at a dead stop, so how do we get this thing into motion? We have to give it a little tug right and left, and now we have a pendulum-like swing starting. If I stop moving my arm, the club stops moving. If I want to get the club to swing higher, I'm going to have to not only move right, but pull up a little bit. Now you can see how high that club is swinging. So very interesting to think about the reaction of the club, how it rotates and swings in space, and what kind of movements made that happen in the most smooth way. Now, it didn't take a lot of energy at all from my arm or hand to get that club moving, did it? So if we can relate this example to our body and the golf swing, then to start the swing with the least amount of manipulation, okay? We're holding the club in golf posture, obviously not with 2 fingers anymore, but what I want you to do is allow yourself to give it a little bit of that lateral tug. And we talked a minute ago about the left toes also helping to start the swing. So you can use those toes, allow yourself to create that little lateral tug, and then up we go. And of course, then the whole club in space is going to not only be swung back, but it's going to rotate up because that's where we're leading it. So I don't like the words pull. I certainly don't like the words lift so much as I do to lead it, drag it, swing it away. And that is a lot different than a manipulated takeaway or a levering action that happens way too soon that adds a lot of tension and a lot of twisting on the club way before any natural point would make that happen. So let's talk about the top of the backswing and the transition next. And a great feel for this part of the swing actually involves you using your imagination a little bit. I want you to think about the last time you went on a roller coaster. Hopefully you like roller coasters. I know I do. I think they're a ton of fun. They're very exciting. And there's so many cool ones out there now that flip you in all kinds of directions. But just a classic roller coaster. Click, 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 click up the first hill, and then you go over the crest and down you go. So just think about that feeling of that first drop where the car starts to accelerate, you lose your stomach just for that moment. There's a little bit of G-force that you feel, and off you go. That's the top of the backswing. That's the change of direction. We're going from swinging the club back to all of a sudden changing directions, and then the club going down. Okay, so let's take a little ride together, shall we? Here we are on a roller coaster as we climb this second hill, and we have quite a bit of speed going up. It's right about there that we lose our stomach. As the roller coaster changes direction from up to down, so do we. Up the roller coaster and then down. It's a change of direction, just like the top of the backswing. So I want you to not rush through it and pull hard. Just let the roller coaster find its way over the hump. It's gonna go. It's built for that, right? So we swing it back, click, 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 click. And then on the way down, here's this nice, smooth rush of momentum. It's not forced, we're not pulling, it's just gonna be almost gravity fed. And if you think of it that way, I think it'll smooth out the top of your backswing and also prevent you from rushing through it, and enjoy the moment. Again, there's that little bit of weightlessness, that little moment where you lose your stomach. Imagine that your arms and the club are passengers on that roller coaster car, and they're experiencing that little sensation right here before you start down. So visualize the roller coaster analogy and see when you're making your backswing if you can imply that feel into your golf swing. I think it's really going to help you out. The right arm throw is going to give you the most amazing feel when it comes to creating lag and also sequence in your swing. So when you throw a ball, naturally that right arm goes back, the elbow drops in, the forearm goes back, and the shoulder externally rotates. So if I throw a ball, that's the pattern. When I swing the golf club and I start down, I want the same pattern to happen here in this right arm. Elbow tracks down, forearm goes back, shoulder externally rotates, and then of course we release through. So if the arm follows the body in that pattern, the same thing is going to happen here. And this is really important for those of you that are over the toppers or just hit at the ball from the top. Feel that little draggy, laggy sensation. Let the right arm trail behind you before it's time to come through and hit the golf ball. Have you ever been fishing and you went to cast your rod and by accident released the line a little too early or a little too late and slammed it right down onto the water's edge? I've definitely done that. Well, we're talking about release point. We're trying to get the release point just right to get the line, the fishing line, to send out as far as possible, or at least to our target, wherever that may be. So in golf, if I take a stance here and I follow through, I want to release to my target. Not to the left, not to the right, not early, and not late, because then I'm going to have issues with sending my object to my target. In this case, it's kind of a combination of the ball and the club head being that object. So I want you to think about what it would be like if you were to take a swing, follow through, and let go of the club completely here through impact. Where would it spin in the air? Would it follow to the target line, or would it end up left, right, high, low? Would you slam it into the ground and let go of it too soon behind the ball? So a very interesting concept to think about. If you have a space to actually practice this, by all means do it, but don't hurt anybody. There is a coach out there named Fred Schumacher who wrote a great book called Extraordinary Golf. Check it out if you have never read it. And he actually has his students do this club throwing exercise with a bag of old clubs right down the middle of the driving range. So there's definitely something to it. And I just think even if you can't do it in real life and throw a club, and maybe you have by accident, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but I want you to try to think about what it would be like and timing the release of the club, of that letting go feeling right at the target through impact. I love watching the Olympics, particularly gymnastics, and when the girls finish all their flips on the floor or the beam, they do this little pose with their feet together after they've stuck their landing and their hands over their head like this and their chest out, and it's just this little proud, you know, I did it kind of ta-da finish. And I love it. And so when I finish my golf swing, I think about this finish position, like ta-da, I'm here and I finish and I've stuck my finish. So when you finish your golf swing, I want you to think about sticking your finish with that nice, proud body language. And you certainly don't need to hold your hands over your shoulder. You can come to rest here in front of yourself in order not to strain your back. But just that overall feeling of boom, you're going to watch that shot no matter where it goes, and you know, fake it till you make it. Even if you fumbled, even when those girls fumble, they still get up and they do their pose at the end. So the golf swing's not over till the very last part of your finish, which isn't here, and it's not here, it's here. This is when the golf swing is complete. If you were to time the entire experience of a golf swing, put it on the clock, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you were to time the entire experience of a golf swing, it's about 1.5 seconds, but the ball flies in the air for about 7 seconds. So think about that. The golf swing is really an 8-second experience. So this is the finish. So don't rob yourself of finishing your golf swing. Enjoy the experience. Watch where your ball goes. You need to do it anyway, so you don't have to ask your cart partner where it went every single time you hit it. Now that you're feeling all kinds of stuff, head out to the range or take some swings at home and start to come up with your own feels and analogies that work for you. I think that thinking of your golf swing through this kind of lens can really help you own your swing and then bring that to the golf course much more naturally. If you're interested in more great ideas like I had in this video, please check out my book, A True Swing, available on my website, Amazon, or directly from the link below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share it with a friend that may need some help with their golf swing. See you guys next time.